Leonie Dawson refuses to be categorized, and today I want to tell you that you have permission. Today and every day you have permission. You have permission to say no to demands on your time that don't light you up and don't give energy back to you. You have permission to not give a crap what's happening outside of your tiny world and to keep your energy focused just on what you're creating. You have permission to let go of friendships that make you feel like shit. You have permission to say no whenever you like, however you like, in whatever kind of voice you like, without feeling like only mean girls say no and nice girls say yes, because that's bullshit. Yes and no have equal weighting. What's important is if you use them when they're the best thing for you, not out of fear, obligation, or guilt. You have permission to know that yes is powerful and so is no. The power comes from you using either from your highest spirit and truest integrity. You have permission to change. You have permission not to be the person that you once were. You have permission to get angry and self-righteous, and to also glean the wisdom from those emotions. They are leading you to where your boundaries are, and where they've been crossed, and what you need to do from now on. You have permission to be exactly how you are. You have permission to be not like anyone else in the world, even if you think they are better, wiser, or more popular somehow. You have permission to be more like yourself, your gifts, your wisdom. You have permission to not care what other people think of you. You have permission to not try to change what other people think of you. You can't ever argue that you're a good person. They'll either know that you are or not, and you don't need to spend time with people who don't believe in you. You have permission to do things that your family and friends do not. You have permission to be wild, expressive, truthful, exciting, and outspoken. You have permission to not accept friendship requests on Facebook or anywhere else in your life. You have permission to block people whenever you like. You have permission to share as much or as little as you like. You've got permission to blog or not blog, podcast or not podcast, Twitter or not Twitter. It doesn't matter. As long as whatever you're doing makes you happy, that's the right thing. You have permission to suck at a wide variety of activities. It's okay. You make up for it with your million other brilliance particles. You have permission to be whatever body shape you like. You have permission to choose and choose again, and then choose again. You have permission to not always be a perfect image of something. You have permission to be a contradiction. You have permission to not go to your school reunion unless it really excites you and delights you and you'd love to really hard reconnect with the people you went to school with. You have permission to not be interested in the newest fad. You also have permission to be totally obsessed with them if it lights your heart up. You have permission to cut people from your life. You have permission to surround yourself with people who are good and loving and nurturing to you. You have permission to be a disappointment to some people, as long as you're not a disappointment to yourself. You have permission to do nothing whenever you like. You have permission to make your biggest dreams come true. You have permission to not do it all perfectly or have all your shit together. You have permission to not forgive people. You have permission to forgive people when it's right for you. You have permission to think that some people are bonkerdoodles. You have permission to think that some people are fucking ice cream with chocolate wafers and sprinkles on top. You have permission to not have the perfect relationship. You have permission to not have a relationship. You have permission to take whatever time you need for you. You have permission to make ridiculous choices for yourself. You have permission to use and listen to your intuition, to feel when things are off and to remove yourself from them, even when you don't quite know why. You will always find out why, eventually. Our intuition is here to serve us. You have permission to be down. You have permission to be up. You have permission to still believe in unicorns and fairies. You have permission to believe in things that other people think are very, very odd and strange. And you have permission to not care. You have permission to believe in things that make your life wholer, richer, and deeper. You have permission to make your own world that is the truest painting of you. You have permission to suck at colouring in. You have permission to say bugger off to anyone who's ever told you that you're not good enough, that you're not worth it, you're not beautiful, you're not lovable, and that you are not the most divine, wise, delicious goddess to walk the planet. And you have permission to know that you are. You have permission to swear whenever you like, however you like, to your reckless abandon. You have permission to not just be the best of anything, just the best of yourself. And some days, just the best that you can do that day. You have permission to not always give. You have permission to fill your own cup first. You have permission to have things around you that delight you. You've got permission to live in a cottage or on a farm or on a mansion. Whatever makes your spirit shine is the right thing for you. You have permission to know that you're a goddess, even when you don't feel like it, even when you feel utterly human, even when you want nothing more than to climb under your blanket or light up the sky. You are a goddess. You have permission. You have permission. You have permission.